broke.
Oh, I didn't know it was recording.
It is. So, as always, Cam.
Kelly.
And we're just talking about movies that we've been watching recently and get you all up to date on some of the things we've said so we can say them already. Oh, where do you want to start?
I'll start with, I went down kind of a rabbit hole, whatever, deal with TV movies. So it seems like it's a little bit before my time. Huge fan of Lifetime movies. But definitely during the 80s and the early 90s, there seemed to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, almost every day, a movie night for some network.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, much like Lifetime movies, are like about brutal murders or like some ridiculous like scam.
Yeah.
Or, just terrible story.
Yeah. Scam, addiction. So it's either scam, a moral story, or family annihilator.
Lots of true crime stuff. This, like, we were talking about true crime the other day and how it, like, really busts out. But, like, it was, because we had discussed OJ, because you gotta, and I think, I agree with you that that's what like, shot into the sky, but clearly we were priming.
Oh, yeah.
It was being primed before, because I'm going to start with the first one I watched. It's called Fatal Vision. It says TV movie, but IMDb lists it as a mini-series, so it's probably shown in 2 parts. It was in 1984, and it is a true crime story about the murder of the McDonald family.
Yeah.
And the budget is horrible.
Yeah, Gary Cole plays the father.
But yeah, Gary Cole is Jeffrey McDonald, and he's like a medic in the army, and decides pretty much like, I'm gonna kill my family, but try to present it as like people
Manson
broke
murder.
in, and Manson murder, but like the Manson murders had just gone down, and
there was a magazine at his house that had an article on it.
Yeah, it's like for all this stuff that was like, because it's like some of it was kind of clever, but then it's like some of it he's just really dumb. He's really dumb about. Not that I wanted him to like get away with it or anything like that, but
I was rooting for you, Gary.
that's the I've been rooting for him since I began as the most horrible characters, but it's certainly delicious how evil he was and stuff. Like series, movie on a whole, it's pretty uneven. Bad budget, like I said, but like for me, at least watching him go through, along with like how it was like in the end a struggle between him and the dead wife's dad that was like, no, like I'm going over this shit, and it looks like he really murdered her, and like I'm not gonna sleep, I'm not gonna fucking stop until I get justice. And
so what, like 9 years to get the dude?
Yeah, it's fucking 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
But finally, because the dude, like, pretty much they said they didn't really have enough on the first go, and then, like, oh my god, it was crazy. But I think they dramatized it just enough to keep it, like, so interesting. I watched it all the way through.
And it looks like, as we were saying, the priming of the true crime pump, because the way they portray it is effectively that the dude plays the media. He immediately starts trying to be his own Johnny Cochran, to be like, these people are failing, these people don't know what they're doing. Look how they flubbed this stuff. Because he knew, or it appeared he knew, that the majority of what was happening was in sealed court. And no one was going to get the transcripts. And so after court, he could just go run up to a reporter and say this happened.
Yeah, if the movie's anyway accurate, his big mistake was giving the father the transcript, his original questioning, when they first like took him in, because like and I liked the scene, it was fun, because like, what? Says he was here like washing dishes with gloves. never saw him wash dishes. Just things where it's
Yeah,
like
the man's never washed a dish in his life.
you visited your in-law so many times that you know, like, at least those kind of things and stuff, because you're eating dinners there. There's gonna be someone that washes the dishes,
And it's not you. And then you're like, yeah, I was washing dishes like I always do, because I'm a good husband who doesn't murder his family.
but yeah, that was like it came out in '84, but it had taken place in the '70s, so it was like weird, that media thing. And another one we watched that's like directly related to it. We watched part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Was the Betty Broderick story.
Yeah.
Because it's like the first one's like a woman scorned or something, some kind of thing, like tale like that. So I was like, all right. I was like, basic kind of what I call Lifetime, but this I guess was before, whatever kind of formula of like she was wrong, and then she took it into her own hands. I'm like, I'm ready to be like
All
behind
right,
Betty, right? You know. And it starts out, she's got a pretty shit gig because she's taking care of all the kids. And her husband's not really appreciating what she's putting in. Like, he's finally been making the big money, but this whole time, in order for him to be able to get the law degree, etc., she was at home with the kids.
Yeah.
And then just basically he's like, you've got an old and fat.
And boring.
And boring.
If any of that was ever actually said.
Well, I mean,
Who
in
knows?
the end, he did wind up getting with a woman that was significantly younger than her.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably at least the old comment was true.
At least in once.
It's really hard to know because, like, saw the real lady in interviews as well, and like
She's riffing.
Yeah, and just like saying lines over and over again, but then certain things I can't remember that.
I can't remember,
What it
but
was
like he said these things.
I
He said
remember
those.
exactly.
He said them. Like you could
Yeah.
see her like winding this like weird gymnastics
But
in her head.
it's hilarious because at first you think it's like, oh, he's fucking her over, he's gonna get this younger thing, blah blah blah, but she's gonna write it like in a First Wives Club thing.
Yeah, yeah.
She's
She
gonna
was
write
sort
it.
of like
Sisters are doing it for themselves. Everything fucking burns his clothes, and I'm like,
Sisters.
what different for me? I don't know. I guess I need to look up the lines of things or something. But like when she finds out that he's having an affair because she like tries to surprise him with champagne in his office, and he's gone for lunch all day with the secretary, with the only woman he's ever like commented on how she looked, secretary.
Like real obvious it looked like in the movie, and then
Like,
in real life in
basically
an interview she
shouting,
says
I
that's how it
guess.
happened, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Because like she's within ear like shot because you see her say it, and then it does like the kind of inner monologue or whatever and stuff of being like, he never said anything about anyone, even me, and I was like, oh my god.
He never compliments how a woman looks. Meanwhile, it pans to him being
Meanwhile,
like,
he's like, I would like that.
yeah, like to a random
So
coworker.
for me, where it was at, I was like, yeah, she's justified to like set his clothes on fire, but I didn't really realize what the bigger implications were because after that, she just seems to completely lose it.
Oh yeah, it got escalated very fast
And like,
to like home invasion.
I don't know, but it's one of those stories like throughout it though, I still was rooting for her. And then since I was like, I hope someone gets her help because that lady needed so much mental. Is yet another thing where it's like she didn't really have any friends. She seemed to have one that finally was like, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, but she said shit way too late.
Yeah, it's like 5 years in of her doing all this
I
stuff.
think the
and she's
timeline
like,
was a little more
hey,
speeded up.
hey,
It
on
was
that
more
one,
like,
you should calm down.
It had been like fucking 18 months.
Yeah.
And then she's finally like, no, you gotta stop this.
On the traumatizing your kids part, you gotta calm it down. Just a little.
Yeah.
Just
So
like,
that's-
fuck you.
That was pretty interesting because the source material was just whack. And like, the actress, she really did a good job of making you think she was that insane lady.
No.
Like, when I saw how she looked, I was like, I forgot. Oh, she come. It made me come to our brain again or something. There's someone in my mind that looked a lot more like her for me. But the performance was really well done.
I mean, yeah, so like we watched the first part of that one, and that one, the first part is like the you know, leads up to all the childish shit she's doing, the him like doing his thing, her like breaking in randomly to just kind of like be in the house.
Okay, so there's one break-in where she seemed, I guess they were doing some kind of like project or thing in the house. just saw spray paint out. So she just started
Hitting
doodling in the
everything.
walls, like Joker style. 89 Joker.
Yeah.
And then one time where like she comes over with the kids. The kids are there, at least for a portion of it.
Yeah, she
And
just
she's like,
appears
"What's
in
this
the
cake?"
house.
And they're like, I forgot who it was, the new girlfriend. She made it. And she's like, "Really?" And then she just like winds up taking the freaking cake, like this chocolate ice cake, and just
Smearing it everywhere in his room, all over the
Smearing
bed.
and
She
she's
was
like, "Oh." And the Oprah interview was so great too.
So
She's
proud.
like, "Yes, I did do that, but I didn't make it. I didn't make it
So
or anything.
happy.
It was there." And I was like,
It's not like I made it, and it wasn't pie, Oprah. It was cake that she made for the children. You know, Linda, the one I murdered.
and when this was Linda.
It was Linda, yeah.
And it was so terrible because she kept telling about how much she loved the kids and blah and stuff, and like clearly.
And she kept talking about them in the present tense,
Those
like she
kids.
hadn't murdered both of them.
Oh yeah, that was.
Like as if they were currently and actively pursuing her, and it's like they're dead. That's why you're on
in her
Oprah.
mind,
Like,
maybe.
that's-
And that's why I was like, out of all this, like what really needs to happen is that we need to get some help. So hopefully she can't hurt
oh
anyone
yeah, that
else
Oprah
like that.
interview was some
It's like
man.
the children.
If you can YouTube the Betty Broderick Oprah interview, there's a moment where you straight see Oprah go like, "Wait a second, what was that last part?"
Yeah, and a lot of people commented. They're like, Oprah got way harsh and stuff. But I was like, that's when Oprah figured out she'd been tricked.
She was like, "Yeah," she's like, "And I'm sorry, you burned his clothes?" Yes. Oh, that's. And then like it cuts to commercial, it cuts back, and Oprah's like, "Hey, so one of the audience members had a good question. Why didn't you get any help after you started setting stuff on fire?" And she was like, "Oh, cuz don't worry about it, like whatever." So, and it's just like you can see Oprah be like, "Oh, she glossed that over too fast."
Yeah, and then she all twisted into it where basically, like, she said that they made her murder them.
They pretty much put the gun in my hand. And you're like, "Oh my."
It's like I straight up like went to that liar moment, driven into the arms of another man.
Yeah.
Like
7. Like, whatever.
it's like, yeah, you can try to sell it, but like.
And so the second movie, second.
The second was more just the court.
Yeah, it was the court procedure.
Not nearly as
And that one was another of a person
interesting.
who knew where the puck was going, as it were, and they hired a PR, and she hired a PR team to handle, and she pretty much won in the court of public opinion, and because of that, like, it was reduced to like, what was it, second degree or manslaughter or something.
Yeah, she got a second degree on both of them.
And so like you get parole, and like apparently like in the movie they show her like cry, right?
Yeah, she did cries or whatever, but apparently like she smiled when it happened.
Yeah,
She
in real life
knew
she smiled.
she would be eligible for parole then.
Yeah, and you should go sell all that. I think they made a movie without her like making money off of it, probably. I mean, unless the family of the deceased sued like the OJ if I did it. Big if I did it. See, on that same line of crazy folks, we were watching some Jeff Fahey movies, and that man does a great like things are bad, where he's just sort of like, "Yeah, haha, you fucking ungrateful." And you're like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" It's just something so intense, like,
yeah.
like
Those are my
you're like, "Oh
favorites.
shit, it's about to go down."
I like intensity. So naturally, I'm drawn to people that may overact at times. But I'm sorry, if you can't overact, you can't really act, because sometimes it's necessary.
You need to chew the scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See the episode of Friends that has Gary Oldman in it.
yes, the spitting one. The nunts. He's just spitting all over him.
You spit. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Gosh. We watched 2 Fakey movies, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll have to find out the name of it, but one of those was one of those TV movies that based on a true story, and Kim Cattrall like plays this chick that's his second wife.
Well, he has the first
Yeah,
wife.
he's like trying to balance both lives, and then he like loses his or like he has some kind of government sweet hookup, and something goes down where the senator has to like bow out or whatever. So because of that, his money is then fucked.
Yeah, he's
So
a
he's
lobbyist.
just like trying to like get money from anybody and stuff, and it's just like spiraling out of control. But he can't tell anybody, I guess,
That
'cause no one knows who
yeah.
the fuck he is.
He can't explain that he's been lying about who he is and where he comes from his entire life to everyone. And that's how he became a lobbyist, was pretending to be someone he wasn't, and now he is just this guy who he pretends to be, who people don't realize, but he has two separate families. And then, as always, they decide to move them into the same town. And that, things don't go well.
It's like because of the money he couldn't maintain.
And he's like telling people he's got cancer, or he's got heart problems. He's like telling different people different things, and then like they're like coming up to his wife being like, "So brave." And she's
He
like,
looks great.
"He looks great. He looks fine." And she's like, "He is fine." And they're like, he hasn't told you." And it's like, "Told me what?" He's got, "Oh, don't worry about it. He'll tell you sometime." It's like,
yeah, that was probably the best one. I also watched a couple of thrillers. I'll look up the names of those to talk about later because don't recommend.
oh yeah.
So on the other TV movie front, further going on Gary Cole, I usually go on bouts with people or whatever you want to call
I
it.
had a bout of Gary Cole.
It's a sickness. So the next one was Vital Signs, a 1986 TV movie. Year I was born. I love that a lot of the ones we've been watching have had the commercials.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. And this one was like extra special because it's one of those old school, like, don't fucking let drugs rule your life. / this one seemed to have the asterisk of get on a program.
Yeah.
Kind of underlying
Get in a
thing,
program.
which is fine or whatever.
Yeah, get in a program.
So, like,
as long as it's not abusive.
I was already like there because Gary Cole's a doctor again. Yeah, it's fine. He has certain roles he plays, and then Ed Asner is a doctor. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
solid acting's gonna happen. It's father and son.
Yeah,
Okay.
these two in a room together, it's gonna be good.
Ed Asner's an alcoholic. I thought it was just
Cole.
cool. Gary Cole is doing amphetamines and morphine.
He's just rock star in it.
Fucking get in it, man. But yeah, so he like pretty much gives up all his shit that he's doing to go back to his hometown because everyone's pretty much been like, your dad's real bad, even though it seems like his dad's been real bad for like 20 years.
He's been a real alcoholic for 20 years
or
without
the
any
people that said
assistance.
shit didn't say it enough for him to
Yeah,
care.
they didn't want to get pushed out of his life, so they stopped pushing the subject, and it just became a undercurrent of the town's life. Is that the head physician at the large hospital drives home completely plastered sometimes.
Sometimes he's too sick to go into work.
Yeah, sometimes he's too sick to come in, and they have to reschedule the surgery for someone that was on like.
But yeah,
I'm
they
waiting.
do all that kind of dramatics. They get the very basic setup of like Gary Cole and his wife have come down here to help out. His wife didn't really want to come. / doesn't really like the family because they've always been assholes to her.
Yeah.
So it's got very basic setup and bare bones of a kind of story, but solid acting all around, even by the wife. Very believable. I thought these people are married, and then also the older couple, they're married. Because it's you're it can only go so much, I guess, in a place. Get up to this big confrontation scene. He's like, Dad, you need to fucking stop drinking. And then his dad then reveals, he's like, I know you got a fucking problem. You're just a junkie. Why should I quit when
Mine's
we're both
legal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm the better one. And then they make this pact basically of Gary's gonna reduce his shit. His dad's just gonna quit cold turkey.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that either, because
I mean, straight to cold
his
turkey,
dad
which is a
seemed to be
dangerous thing
I'm
to do.
gonna get you down on a regimen and stuff. It's he could have done that for you too, where you're
Yeah,
just
you
thin out a
could
shot and then
Try
eventually
to
nothing.
lower your alcohol intake, or gotten into a program where they help you mentally prepare for such a thing.
Yeah. Instead, they just like give him flavored water and shit.
Yeah, even like some sparkling water with some lemon.
Yeah.
Here's a LaCroix. You're dying. I know it feels like your organs are all like screaming, but here's a LaCroix.
So yeah, you're like, I wonder where this kind of gonna go now, right? So the dad's not really cutting it. Gary walks in on one day and he's like, he's trying to sneakily drink a handle,
chugging it,
and like, and then it's just like, kind of gives up. So the dad decides, like you do, to drink a ton out of his fishing boat, and then fucking shoot up with a ton.
So the thing that Gary Cole, the son, walks in on the dad being like about to start like chugging this bottle, is as he's getting sober, his hands are starting to shake, and he's a surgeon. His friend has got some sort of disease or whatever, and he needs to operate on him. And he's like, I got this, I got it. And then he like is essentially like chugged booze, and TV movie style has now become like completely unable to use his hands properly, like that, like Man of the House with Sinbad's Novocaine hands, like pretty much. And so he has to like bow out and be like, tell the other guy, I'm gonna need you to finish this up. I feel more comfortable if you finish it up. And he immediately like goes and like kills a handle out on a boat and like just ties off and hits himself real hard with some Special K apparently. Just looked like a big syringe of it. It was like,
yeah, just a nice big squirt out of it before it.
Did the big TV squirt.
Yeah, so then he just fucking hits his head on the boat and is clearly dead, and you're like, shit.
Over.
It's like, well, I guess either Gary's gonna spiral out of control or he's really gonna get shit together. He spirals.
Kind of both.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying not to spiral, but then he hits his wife, and he's like, all right, let's go out somewhere where I can detox.
Yeah.
And then he shakes her for the keys.
Some serious shaking.
She remains resilient. It really does show a test of her love.
Yeah.
And eventually the big ending, because I was like, well, where does this... I don't know where it goes now.
Yeah.
Still kept me going, at least. He fucking goes up to the house of this guy this whole time that's trying to get his dad into a drug program. And so it's, it's that.
Yeah.
So,
he gets into a program at the end.
He gets into a program.
And everyone hugs.
Yeah. But I mean, I really think he needed, especially since he was dealing with addiction to 2 drugs.
I think he needed to both get in a program and lose his license. Regardless of the program.
Yeah.
Because
he is going to lose his license because as far as I know, within the movie, the doctor's like, you give it to me now.
Yeah.
And it's fine and stuff. Not when you fuck up again, which he did.
And
your license
before
is gone.
they drive to the guy's house where he's like and gives him his medical card, and the guy's like, yeah, let's do this. Like hugs are all around. And it's like happy, movie's over. Before it got to that, the dude had like bum rushed into the hospital he worked at and been like, yeah, let me see that old lady's chart. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, this looks good. Give me some morphine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Oh, look, it's all here. You want to look at it? You want to look at? No. Okay. Give me that. Okay, I'll be right back. And he like runs as fast as he fucking can, pretty much this room with this dying old lady that's like, hello, and he's like, hi, I'll be right back. And it's just like shooting up in this old lady's bathroom at the hospital. And it's like, you just stole / forged, falsified to get morphine so that you could shoot it up at the hospital. You shouldn't get your...
It was a very small town though. I did like that about that because they let the wife run in and just fix it.
Yeah.
Because he's like fucking, it's great imagery. He's like fucking sitting on the edge of the fucking tub, the hospital tub. It's just the fucking needle sticking out of his thigh, like, still like clearly.
Yeah.
Fucking like.
Dude looks like he's been. Yeah. So that one was.
So that one really was very performance based. I think.
Yeah.
That's a good thing and it helps these movies through the dull and kind of like wafting is you've got the people there. You've got the, at least for me, if I'm connecting and wanting to care about somebody's story in this, I'll keep watching it.
Yeah.
Like, my standards are, I don't know where they are now, but it's harder for me to, it's not impossible for me to turn off stuff. I watched a lot of Christmas movies.
Oh yeah, this past season we watched a good amount of Christmas movies. Caught up on some ones we had missed out on. There's still more we need to get caught up on because all the Christmas movies, because people love them Christmas movies for some reason. But it's Hallmark, Lifetime, everyone that's getting in on it, they're pretty bad. I mean, which one would you say was probably the worst that we saw besides? Well, the worst was probably that Snowman's was just so bad.
Unwatchable. There's
Couldn't
usually
finish.
a level of so bad that it's good. I will have to say on the Lawrence brother one, I'll have to remember that. Find the name on that one. I had to restart about 3 or 4 times to get through it because I was kind of determined just to see what the ending was, and it was not worth it. Yeah, and it was weird because the whole setup is like she meets the younger brother who she has better connection to, and blah blah blah. They have this like all day date already when they barely know each other. I love the tropes of these. That shit happens, and then lo and behold, oh, you know this guy that I invited you out to my cabin to? Also, way too soon. Yeah, he's my brother.
Yeah, and he's interested in you too.
And we're gonna like fight over you
But
like
not.
we're 9-year-olds.
Yeah, very childish.
Shove
and
each other on
weird.
the ground and shit.
Yeah, like get into weird fist fights in a bowling alley. And I mean weird because it looked like it was pseudo a real fist fight between brothers because they are brothers. And it was a little too meta for them to be like doing this weird like I'm wrestling because I'm a big man, and then you can kind of see them have a moment like, no, I'm a big man. And you're like, guys.
So you can really tell that Joey wants to be a big man by how tight his clothes are.
Oh yeah,
Hey, my clothes are so small, I'll look bigger.
He's wearing clothes from back when I don't know when.
Like they're just it's straight up. I don't think it's from another time. He just specifically is getting his shit like one size too small. Like it's gross.
He's the one with the messed up head.
Yes, he's the oldest brother.
Yeah. So that actor, that older brother, then ends up with a lady. He bumps into a lady that he apparently knew from I don't know when, being like, "Oh, you're back in town. You have a cookie store now, or some shit. You make cookies." And he's like talking to her, right? I have face blindness, so to me, it was just suddenly you're talking to the same woman, and she's like, "Yeah, I got a cookie store." I'm like, when did she get a cookie store? That she was visiting. What's happening here? What is this? And she's like, "Oh, that's a different lady." I'm like, "It's a different lady. They got the same haircut, same outfit, same couple."
To be fair, like the difference in their hair, it seemed to be pretty much styled, and whatnot's all the same. I get it's on the same movie, but also there wasn't. They were both blondes, and the shades of blonde weren't. It wasn't one was like a platinum blonde, and another one's a honey blonde. No,
Same.
They had very similar blondes. Like there was a difference, but not a ton. And
So yeah, it just threw me
even
right
me
off.
for a second, I was like, "Wait a minute!" I was like, "Oh."
What's happening? He's
almost
acting like
the
a
same
different
kind
person.
of thing, like
It is a different person.
David Lynch style or something. I can pick someone that's a similar face. What the fuck are y'all doing? Like, I don't have face blindness, and I'm kind of like having a weird like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened because this whole thing was that she'd made a Christmas wish to like find somebody, and then they both got somebody's, and they do a double kiss at the end.
No.
Not
They
them
all,
but
they
like,
all four
the couple
lean in together.
are kissing each other at the end and everything like that, and that's supposed to be, I don't know, cute, resolved,
something. It's a movie.
whatever.
Make that money.
It's straight up. The movie did
Lawrence
not
brother
bring
money.
me any joy, except for that her name was Holly. It's definitely a check off of my like.
Yeah, they gotta have a Christmassy
They have
name.
to kill that trope, and they did.
The other one I watched was the one, the Melissa Joan Hart. The hell was it? What was that one? Ed Begley Jr. that looked like he was a prisoner.
It's really difficult because I don't
I
have
don't
a phone,
remember.
and the title of it is.
Point is, it's a Melissa Joan Hart movie, and is it Mr. Christmas? I don't know. Something
I don't know
like
what
that.
it's called, but the dude's name is Chris Massey.
His name's Chris Massey. It's played by
Jason Priestley.
Jason Priestley.
Which I realized is what I argue is one of the big things of realism, because the guy looks like, and I'm not saying in like insulting way or whatever, he looks like a normal guy. You know, like from your hometown, you run in again and be like, oh, he's cute or whatever and stuff. I wouldn't be like they were all putting him out to, one, he's gorgeous, to each their own. And then also, like, her sister all being like, yee, I saw those muscles and stuff. And the dude was like in 8 layers because it's
No way
fucking
you
in
saw
a
it.
cold area and he's well dressed for it.
Yeah, he's highly covered.
I was like, I'll give you that. You could find that dude like super sexy. Fair enough.
Sister has a basketball
But-
under her shirt.
yeah, also, it's soap opera things all around. And the fact that this dude literally is everything.
Does everything. This town would explode.
He plays
without him.
guitar. He is a voluntary firefighter.
Blows glass.
Yeah. That's
For
his true
EMTs.
passion. That's his true passion. He just does like this fucking
Just grows
just
charity
putting
hearts.
up Christmas lights and towing service so that he can pursue glass blowing.
Yeah, he's got tow service. He gets Christmas lights. Plays.
Makes great chicken.
He fries chicken. And caters fried chicken.
It's like,
I don't know.
you know what was,
Everything.
what was the
Coffee
worst
shop
part of it and stuff like that?
Entrepreneur.
It's like I get at every end, even through the thing. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I hate the super fast like and spend so much time together tropes. It's like I get that you're just knowing each
Unless
other.
it's a
but they'll
snow in.
spend so much time.
Or something like we're trapped together now
Yeah.
type of adventure, and that's why you're suddenly spending all that time together. It's weird
That's a different trope.
that the person has arrived every time where you have arrived where they are, and it's just weird if you're what was supposed to be 2 days, not every moment with that person keeps being with that person, even if you didn't want it. Where you're like, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go to a movie because no one should be at the movies, and then it's just like you and him in the movie theater, and no one else is there.
Yeah. I
That's
didn't like that part about it for sure. That forceage, and then also you've established that he is an amazing catch. Fair enough if he does all these things. Why do I want to be with this bitchy? I don't want to say something about it physically. I'm not gonna, this bitchy person that is supposedly like a podcaster, but does no real podcast work or knows
That's not how
like how
podcasts
they.
work.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's
it
not like
was-
we're professional
it
podcasters,
made me
but
feel
that's not,
young. On
that's not
like,
how podcasts work. That's a radio show.
yeah, they had no idea. And then like, it's really sad when I love Ed Bakley Jr. He brings me a lot of joy. He brought me joy in this film in ways I did not expect.
Poor man looked like
Because-
he was looking for the keys that unshackled his legs throughout the whole movie secretly. He's like, oh, don't mind me. I'm just coming through
Or
the room
like,
'cause
I
I
told
need to
someone I would do this,
look under every book
and I'm
for the keys that
doing
open
it,
my shackles.
but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
agreed
like
to be in a
having to be like the
movie.
sweetest dad too, so it's weird. Like he's not really necessary. There's this whole weird subplot about like that the husband will never get home in time for the pregnant wife.